Folding fitted sheets could take a long time to learn how to do, could take up to 40 years or more, but the iris folding is a lot simpler. So let's get into today's card and learn how quick you can do iris folding. So I printed 2 copies of the pattern, and again I have the pattern linked below, but you want to cut 2 pieces, 2 pattern pieces, one to save, and this one we're going to cut the 2-inch circle out of here with a 2-inch circle die. Use that under our card. My pattern today that I used was one that I created myself with a circle and a ruler and did it. There are so many patterns on the internet that you can use. Once you get this technique down, you can just search iris folding patterns. There's tons of them in all different kinds of shapes and patterns. I just happened to make one to fit my stamp that I have, which is a 2-inch circle. So you're more than welcome to use this pattern or create one your own, whatever size you have. Just so you know, when you go to print this out, I use my own and it's a 2-inch pattern. So now you have the pattern and the extra piece, and we're going to start working on the front of the card. So I have a card that I cut down to 4 by 5 1/4. Quick thing here, before we get into the iris folding, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the front of the card, because once you do the iris folding, there's bulk, and then it doesn't make it easy to stamp the image on the front. So we're going to go ahead and do that first. Stay with me. We'll get to iris folding, but we first want to do this to make it easier at the end. And I'm using this stamp set from Gina K. And one thing is they have little tiny circles on top of the little pattern, and I'm going to use that as my ornament holder. So I want to keep that in the center and use that as for my string. I'm going to stamp this in fresh asparagus, nice dark Christmas green. I love it. I'm going to use the Merry Christmas from Gina's Season's Greetings stamp set. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut this circle out with the same die that we use for that. Now you should have 3 pieces. You have the front cardstock, you have your pattern, and you have your extra to show the colors. For my card today, I'm going to, even though there's 4 colors, I'm going to use 2 shades of red and 2 shades of green, kind of keeping it cohesive. You could definitely use pattern paper or wrapping paper. I have tried doing it with this, I don't know what you call this, like foiled paper. Definitely could use that. Anything thin. You don't want to use heavy cardstock because you do have to bend these, and you don't want to have a bunch of bulk coming out of your card. So you do want to keep it semi-thin and not too heavy of a cardstock. So I'm going to make 3/4 inch strips out of these, and we should have technically 4 of them, 4 strips for each color at 3/4 of an inch, and then we're going to fold them down 1/4, leaving it a 1/2 inch. Okay, we probably won't use all these, but they're all folded and they're close to the same size and pressed down to make it easier to line up. Hopefully you can see this okay when there's not too much shadow, but I've taped the card down and I taped this down so nothing moves. And I have my strips and my scissors, which we're going to cut. I got some old photo stick glue that I'm going to just put around here so I can hold everything, and then use the tape, the old Scotch tape, when I need to. So we're going to just start by putting some glue around here to kind of hold everything as I go around. So I'm going to start with, I forgot to mention, I put my color scheme on my little sample. And for color A, I made it 1A, 5A, 9A, 13A, 2B, and followed it along. And then I put my colors here so that I can follow along on here. Put some glue back on here. So dark green will be color A. And again, on the fold, you're just going to put that on the fold here, and then cut the excess that you don't need. Okay, and then color 2 is light green. Again, the fold. Kind of go over and cut the excess. Put some more down here. And then dark red for number 3. Cover up the line. And then your light red. And that's the first row. I'll just put a little tape. So I'll show real quick. Oops. That's how it's starting to look. I'll put that back down. And we'll do the next color again. So we got dark green. Yep. And I'll put a little I'm going a little past so that it's less bulk, even though they are smaller strips. And then light green, just so we have a little bit more. And number 7 is the dark red. Kind of go out here a little bit. And then 8 is the light red. Okay. Then the next one is number 9, which was back to the dark green. Put some glue to hold it. And number 10 is light green. Give a little bit more tape here. Number 11 is dark red. And number 12, the red light. number 12, a little tape there. Number 13 is dark green. We have just a little bit left. We'll just plaster that up there. And 14 will be light green, so we'll tape the two together. And 15 is dark red. Put those two together. And light red is number 16. Everything's taped down, pushed down, so now we can remove it from here. So that's the front of the card. So now we'll just put our little centerpiece in there and do our little top of the ornament, and then we'll put it on a card base. So I hope you saved your center circle, say that 3 times, because we'll use that for our back, and we'll put something right there, and that'll be your iris in the middle. This stamp set comes with the letter joy, the word joy, and a snowflake. I just want the snowflake because it fits perfectly. So I'm just going to stamp this on the center of the circle in powder blue, stamp it all out, but then I'm going to wipe away, and then hopefully we just have the snowflake. And then, how many of you do that as you're thinking? Hope that wasn't too hard to see the iris folding. Please stay with me as we go ahead and finish off the card. I'm going to add a little bit more embellishments to kind of make it more festive. So let's go into the next phase of the card. This stamp set called Joyful Holiday has a little bow and ribbon. Do that in gold. For the backing, I cut down a piece of black cardstock to 4 1/8 by 5 1/4 to be a little bit bigger than the card base. I did pop up so that it would be somewhat in line, so it wasn't be too much, but I didn't really, I'm not sure I like the white that's showing through, because when you put it on the black, you're going to see that white. So my remedy is my Spectrum Noir black, to carefully color the foam tape, not get it on the card, and then just peel that off. Very small black cardstock around, so there's very small border. And just because I can, I'm going to add a little bit of star, I don't know what you call these. There. And now it's ready to go on a card base. Just put it on a white card base. Well, I hope you enjoyed this iris folding. I sure enjoy having you in my craft room. Please like and subscribe so you know when I upload my next videos. And I hope you have a wonderful day and that you do get a chance to try this fun technique called iris folding.